Hello and welcome to the Comic Podcast. I fucked it up. I'm very tired. Hello and welcome to the Comic Schtick Podcast, where comics are my shtick. Might not be moving around as much today. Ladies and gentlemen, I say ladies, but it's probably about 5% of my viewership according to my statistics. I'm getting old. Yesterday technically, is the day I'm finally getting old. And I can admit it. Yesterday, I pinched a nerve in my back, up in here, on this side of my shoulder. How did I do that, you ask? How did I pinch that nerve? By taking a nap. Yep, I pinched a nerve while taking a nap yesterday, and my back still hurts. So, I might be leaning back in this chair a lot today. But that shouldn't stop you from getting excited about Destructo Boy, the Era of Alpha Cardinal, Part 1 of 2. This is my, I think it's 25, 26 pages, 27 pages, somewhere around there, a comic book I am releasing hopefully sometime soon when you're seeing this. Should be sometime within the next couple weeks. I know I've been saying that a while, having a little bit of printing issues with the files getting messed up, but I finally figured it out. So I'll be getting all those files to the printers, and they will be printing up the copies of the book, and I'll be selling it online. Destructo Boy. And this isn't just like a front and back printout I made. There's pages in here. This whole issue, this first issue is completely done. And I am working on I have all the pages from the second issue completely done, and I am about halfway through the third issue. It will be a 5-issue little mini-series sort of thing, with the first 4 issues are 2-parters, so part 1, part 2, part 1, part 2, and then the final issue has more pages, and it's just one longer story. So look forward to that. Today, however, I don't have a, like I have for the past 2 episodes, I don't have an Nocenti Daredevil update. I mean, I could, but I feel like I should just wait until next week to talk about it, because I'm going to be talking about Daredevil anyway. This podcast is very Daredevil-centric. I didn't really think about that, or didn't plan it being like that at all, but it is, and my back hurts. So I might just like sit right here and just lean back and just sort of stare at you like this. Like I'm sitting in the dark in our house and I know you're cheating on me. And I wait for you to come home in the middle of the night and all the lights are off. And then you turn the light on and I spook you. And I'm like, where were you today, huh? Why are you coming home so late? Where were you? I know where you were. I don't know what I'm doing with this. I'm talking about Daredevil, the Devil's Reign event. Because, like I mentioned, I ordered the first 4 issues, finally got those in, and I gave them a read. I read them all, read 4 issues, I think over the course of like a day or so, maybe 2 days, and I'm going to talk about it. As you know, I love the Nocenti Daredevil run and the Brian Michael Bendis run. Sorry, I couldn't sleep very well last night due to my back hurting, because I'm an old man. I haven't read Frank Miller's Daredevil. I haven't read any Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil. At least I don't think I have. Maybe if I have, it was like an issue or 2. It wasn't like a whole like series or whatever. So this is like the first Daredevil of his that I've read that I can think of. And it was alright. I saw so many people building it up to be this epic event and like, it's so badass and it's awesome. Daredevil's so cool. Chip Zdarsky's a great writer. He's a good writer. I like him. I don't know. I've read more of his Spider-Man than I have his Daredevil, so I'm more inclined to liking his Spider-Man more. So far, I'm not caring for his Daredevil, especially in this, or at least in this is what I should say. It's not what I was expecting. In like the first issue, immediately as I was reading it, I was just like, this is Civil War, but it's just heroes versus the government, or a corrupt government, since they hired the fucking the villains. They're reforming the villains, just like they did in Civil War, reforming. And they're turning them into the Thunderbolts. I can't remember what they were called in the Civil War, the first one, not the terrible second one. In the original Civil War, because I think it was just the registration, right? They were just like, hey, if you're a villain, you can register too, and you can work for the government and get paid, so you don't have to rob banks or whatever. But there was also that 50 States initiative. I don't know. I can't remember if that had any villains in it or not. But yeah, it's just a miniature Civil War in New York, which is where the other Civil War was. If you only read the 6-issue run of it. A little tangent on the Civil War event from the early 2000s, whatever year that was. A lot of people don't really like it. I do. It's probably because I read it once, just the first 6 issues, and I was like, oh, that's cool. I like it. That's an interesting idea to introduce into the Marvel universe. But then I read it with all of the tie-ins in chronological order. And if you want to do that, you can find lists online anywhere, or you can find on certain websites where you can download things. People already pre-package the Marvel and DC events in chronological order, which is what I did. It was like, oh god, it was a lot of issues, I'll tell you what. It took me a while to read through. But it enhanced the event so much that you can see just the whole impact of the Marvel Universe and what the Civil War event does to it. I did the same thing with Secret Invasion, and that was incredible. It really enhanced it. I know a lot of people hate tie-ins. It detracts from the stories that are already ongoing. But in those two cases, from my experience, it made the events so much better than if I had just read the 6 issues. I'm thinking of eventually trying to do that with maybe Devil's Reign, because there's a fuck ton of tie-ins. There's the spin-off book. There's the spin-off book with Thunderbolts. There's the Elektra Woman Without Fear Daredevil book. There's a Moon Knight issue. I don't know what else. Maybe that'll make it better if I do it that way, because I haven't really done that with not a whole lot of events recently I've read, and even less I've read in the with all the tie-ins in the chronological order. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll try that again at some point in the future and see if I like it more. But I didn't like it. I don't get it. I guess is my problem. It just, something about the story just didn't click with me. I would snap if I could, but I don't know how. I don't know. That's as close as I can get. I don't know how to snap, ladies and gentlemen. Devil's Reign. Is it a reign, really? It seems like he's going to get voted out of office because Luke Cage is running for mayor. And since it's called Devil's Reign and it's a Daredevil event, I thought there would be a whole lot more Daredevil in it and a whole lot more Kingpin. But it's like they only show up for a third or a half of the book. Kingpin shows up more than Daredevil does in these 4 issues. So, what's all that? Fucking Tony Stark's... Well, Tony Stark, I was going to say Skrull, but he's not a Skrull. It's the Chameleon. Spoiler alert, by the way. Chameleon dresses up like Tony Stark and pretends to be him. He shows up more than Daredevil does. And I don't know what the fuck is going on with Tony Stark now. I don't know what he's up to. But he's he wants to be mayor, but he's actually a secret agent working with Doc Ock. And the Doc Ock issues, those are ones that I want to read. Because I remember seeing the preview or the pre-orders for the trade collection of all the Dr. Octopuses from the multiverse who have conquered heroes' bodies, like Superior Wolverine and Superior Hulk and Superior Ghost Rider. Why the fuck did he go after Ghost Rider? I don't know. it's similar to the Dark Knight's Metal. Death Metal's the second one. DC, is it just Metal? Is it what? I can never remember the order of those goddamn Scott Snyder events that everybody is ignoring. But it's very similar to the evil Batman group, except it's Doc Ock. They're all scheming together and trying to like do stuff to their own ends for some reason, and like it's weird that they're working together so well. Like I said, I haven't read the tie-ins, so I don't know what's going on in his book, but it just seems odd that so many Doc Ocks are not trying to undermine each other to the point where they fail, at least yet. There's only 2 issues left, so I don't really know what is going to happen. Anything could happen. Let's see, I'm just looking at my notes, just because there wasn't anything that really stood out aside from that Doc Ock bit. I'm pretty disappointed, I'll be honest. I am pretty disappointed with the Devil's Reign event. There's so much going on with the side characters. Like, there's the whole Luke Cage thing, and he's standing up for the people, and, like, you know, he's gonna become mayor or whatever. That's cool, I guess. I do like that, like, Jessica Jones and Luke Cage's child is one of the only children in the Marvel Universe who seems to age at all. Because goddamn, during Civil War she was a baby, and now she's like 3, maybe. I think it's a she, isn't it? A she? Don't they have a daughter? So that was all right. There's that whole bit where like Captain America and Miles Morales, I think, and fake Spider-Man, the goddamn Ben Reilly clone with his dumb asymmetrical spider logo on his chest, are running around in the sewers like that issue of Civil War where that happens, and Spider-Man gets his shit kicked in, and Punisher takes him to a secret underground base where all the heroes are. Only in this one, Spider-Man almost gets his shit kicked in, and Captain America takes him to a secret underground base where all the heroes are. Like, you see where I'm getting at with the whole Civil War thing? It's very reminiscent of Civil War. It's just little Civil War. Which is that's what they should have done instead of this. Just get Scotty Young to do his little baby Marvel characters having a Civil War. There's another prison. They put all the heroes in prison. At least all the ones they capture, which is like 5. They put Reed Richards, Sue Storm, Tony Stark. He gets taken off camera, or off panel. Moon Knight, Iron Fist. I think that might be it. I think it is exactly 5. 5 superheroes get captured and put in this giant prison that's underwater in the ocean somewhere. It's almost like a raft, if you will. Why didn't they just use the raft? Is that destroyed or something? And why did they just put them in a regular-ish prison? Like, you don't really see any other supervillains in this book, or in the prison, so are these, like, minor supervillains that are in here? Is it just a regular prison that's under the ocean? What is happening in this book? I didn't care for that at all. I don't care. Kingpin trying to find his lost memories was the most interesting part of this whole book. He sees, like, a safe, or he has a safe in his office, and he knows that there's, like, files there that are of some importance. He sees that there's these files there, and he can't read them, or they're blank, or when he tries to read them, it's like when you're in a dream and you try to read something, and it's all garbled up, and like it's nonsense, essentially. I think that might be what it is, because he takes the files when he meets Daredevil, and he's like, "What did you do to these files?" Also, there's Matt Murdock's fake twin brother. I was reading about him because I don't remember what the fuck he's from. And he's in this for some reason, as is Kingpin's other son, apparently. Butch. He's the new Kingpin of crime for some reason. I doubt that's going to last very long, especially once Luke Cage becomes mayor of New York. Or they both lose, and it just becomes a normal person. What else is there to talk about? Oh, yeah, so Kingpin. His whole enslaving the Purple Man, trying to get his memories back and undo whatever has been done to him. That was interesting. I would have loved to have seen more of this. Also, apparently he and Typhoid Mary got married. When did that happen? Was that in Zdarsky's run? Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot going on in this book, but at the same time, there's not a lot going on. It's disappointing to me. I was really looking forward to this, but there was just something about it that I just did not jive with. I didn't like it. That's really all I can say. I'm tired. I can't speak no good. As well, I can't speak as good as I like to. I'm also turning into John Travolta. But yeah, I'll pick up the last 2 issues. Why wouldn't why not? I'm already over halfway through the book, so I may as well just wait for the issue 5 and 6 to come out and see how this dumb story wraps up. Yeah, I think a lot of my issues from this come from the fact that it's not primarily focused on Kingpin and Daredevil. There's a lot more characters going on in here. Like, I would have been fine if it was like, just like if it was the Daredevil menagerie of characters, maybe a couple lower street level characters. But now we got the fucking Fantastic Four for some reason, and Iron Man, and Captain America. Like, top it off at Spider-Man, at most. One of the Spider-Men. Preferably not the dumb Ben Reilly one. He gets like his ass kicked in this book, and it's so fucking funny. He gets kidnapped because Taskmaster fights him in the Daily Bugle, because Kingpin knows that Spider-Man has something to do with the Daily Bugle or something. And Ben Reilly shows up. What is regular Spider-Man doing, by the way, right now? Is he not showing up because of that fucking Beyond story arc that they're doing? Whatever that is? The Beyond Corporation thingy? Is that why he's not showing up? I thought that was still taking place in New York. But whatever. So Ben Reilly shows up, and he gets flown out. He gets thrown out of a fucking window on like the 15th story and arrested, and just gets his shit kicked in until the Thing and the Human Torch show up to save him. Also, apparently Johnny can't turn off his flame powers now or something. I don't remember that ever happening. Was that in the Dan Slott run? That is also a run of comics I haven't read. I think I read like the first couple and then I just stopped. Or was that after? Or, was that before the Fantastic Four? All 4 of them came back together. I don't remember. I don't care, is what it boils down to. I'm sorry if you guys like this. I'm sorry. You love it for all you love it. But I don't care. I don't like it. It wasn't good to me. I didn't think it was very good. And if you are mad at me for not liking Devil's Reign, because I think that's all the more I have to say about it. If I keep going, it's just going to be me shitting on this book. And that's not nice. That's not fun. I think I've said what I liked about it and what I didn't like about it enough. But yeah, if you're mad at me or upset that I don't like this book written by Marvel Golden Boy Chip Zdarsky, who is also going to be writing Batman soon, so maybe I'll check that out. I'll get back to you guys on that one when that comes out. I'll let you know what I think. Because I haven't read a Batman issue. Oh, God. I don't even know. Was it Scott Snyder and then immediately Tom King? Did he write? Is that how that went? Because I never, like I said in my recent Batman video on the Court of Owls, or City of Owls, I never bothered reading after the Volume 3. I don't know. Yeah, because I read like an issue here and there from the Tom King run. I read the Bat Cat. That fucking issue. And I didn't bother with any of the Tinian the Fourth issues, so hopefully it's a clean slate for the most part. Hopefully Alfred's back by the time Zdarsky starts writing it. But, let me try this for the 3rd time. If you're mad about me shitting on Daredevil Devil's Reign, even though it's getting amazing reviews and everybody seems to love it and everybody's like, oh, it's great, then you're going to hate me for what I'm about to talk about next. And you're going to hate me even more because I love it wholeheartedly. And that is a little show that came out on Netflix apparently sometime last week, I think, maybe Friday or over the past weekend, called The Guardians of Justice, parentheses, will save you. Now, The Guardians of Justice is from, what is his name? Adi Shankar. It's part of a bootleg universe is what it's the label, I guess it's under, his production house thing. He's the guy who did Punisher Dirty Laundry, which was like a short fan film starring Thomas Jane and Ron Perlman, weirdly enough, from a couple of years ago. I say a couple, it's probably more like 10. He also did this like R-rated Power Rangers fan film when the newest Power Rangers came out. He did Eddie Brock, Truth in Journalism, which is a parody film of the this like fake documentary called Man Bites Dog, which is about this I can't even speak. This documentary crew who follows a serial killer around. But in this version, it's Eddie Brock. I think I brought that up on some video that I've had starred Venom in it. One of the two of them on my channel. Guardians of Justice. The Guardians of Justice will save you. Is the best way I can think of describing it is shitty Watchmen. And it is in the similar vein of Kung Fury, which was a fan project, like a short film that came out however many years ago that everybody loved. It's about this like kung fu fighting cop who fights like evil Hitler and dinosaurs or something. I can't remember. It's been a while since I watched it. Similar to like that style of like 80s parody that was the video game spin-off Far Cry Blood Dragon. You know, it's that like real hokey machismo synth listening to 80s verse. You know, it's all 80s all the time. They're making references to fucking Mortal Kombat. There's like Atari games or whatever. There's like just movie parodies, all that shit. You recognize it and understand what I'm saying if you see it. But, oh man, because it's in this genre, that means that it's purposefully made to look and be terrible. It's like a bootleg of a rip-off Justice League that is supposed to have like come out in the 80s itself. The basis of the Guardians of Justice, so that's what it is. That's what it looks like. The sets are bad. Well, most of the sets are bad. I think a lot of them look pretty good for what it's worth. I imagine it was probably a lot of money to make this 8-issue series on Netflix look bad. Like it's purposefully filmed to look like a shitty B or C level movie. But with that in mind, here's the story. So it takes place in like the mid to late 80s, and this is in a crazy comic booky universe where a superhero called Marvelous Man appeared at the end of World War III in 1947 and ended the war. World War III happened because Hitler was brought back as a cyborg, and he created an army of evil cyborg Nazis. So you can see what we're dealing with here. So he comes back, it's 40 years later, it's the 80s, and it begins on the like celebratory day to when Marvelous Man first showed up. It's called like M Day or something, you know, it's like V Day or VE Day when the war ended. But it's a day where they celebrate Marvelous Man, and I guess like every year he lives up in a spaceship that's orbiting space. It's like his Fortress of Solitude / the Justice League's satellite thingy, whatever that's called. And so every year he comes on the TV and like he gives a speech and it's like a fireside chat with Marvelous Man or whatever. And like, oh, everybody loves him. He's the greatest hero. There's no real wars anymore. Everything's great, even though it's the world's full of these shitty people. Like the president, who I think is played by the guy who voices Kratos. He openly says that their administration will be dealing with the national blight that is gay people or something like that. Like, you know, so it isn't far off from what happened in reality. But, you know, it's a crap sack world, as you would find on the TV tropes page. There's this, like, rogue nation state calling themselves Anubis, and it's sort of like ISIS. But they all dress like Klansmen from the KKK. Like they have the pointy white hoods and shit, and they wear all white, and they're in some far off land on the other side of the globe, and they have nuclear missiles or something, and they're threatening to use them if the world like doesn't let their violent expansion into neighboring nations take place, which sounds kind of similar if you ask me. And so anyway, that's the kind of world this is. And there's superheroes. On top of all that, there's superheroes, there's supervillains. And occasionally there's cyborg dinosaurs that get loose. But on this anniversary of M-Day, something happens. And that is that Marvelous Man shoots himself in the head with a knockoff kryptonite bullet that was made by this version of Lex Luthor. These are very obvious parodies and pastiches of the Justice League. It's more DC than it is Marvel. So that was nice because I do like, I don't know, I guess I like DC better than Marvel. I like them both, but I think that DC has more interesting characters. That's a whole other topic of conversation. But so yeah, he fucking shoots himself on international television, this live broadcast. And everybody's like, holy shit, why did he just do that? And the Batman character, who is called Nighthawk, I think, who is played by a former wrestler with a great gravelly voice. And I think my favorite part about him is that he's a blonde guy, which is not something you see very often in comic books for some reason. Have you noticed that? There's not a lot of blonde superheroes that I can really think of aside from like Captain America and Ben Reilly Spider-Man. But I don't know, for some reason I just like the fact that this Batman character had blonde hair. It just made him stand out more than if he was just a complete, Bruce Wayne knockoff. But since this is in the 80s, Nighthawk began his crime fighting career like back in the 60s. So he's old. He's getting up there in age. And he's like chain smoking cigars. And has to like pop all these pills to keep his body from dying and keep going and shit. And he has, his former sidekick has grown up. And he now is an employee, like he's a secret government agent, like Black Ops agent, and he has another sidekick called Little Wing, who's like a psychopathic, well, he's not that psychopathic, I guess. Well, he would be, since he was trained by the Batman character, because he just murders people, this child. There's the whole Guardians of Justice, that's the Justice League of this universe, and my favorite member of that group is called Awesome Man. Awesome Man is Captain Marvel Shazam. He has the power of 7 gods that imbue him when he seemingly when he transforms. We don't really see a whole lot of him in his civilian attire, so it's sort of nebulous or ambiguous as to whether or not he looks like that. But he's played by Derek Mears, who hasn't had that many big roles, especially not in mainstream films. He played Jason. He was the Jason body actor. in one of the Friday of the 13th, one of the Friday the 13th films, at least one of them. He was in like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as like a Kree villain in the 5th season. So he has like roles here and there, but goddamn, he is a great actor. I loved him so much in this movie. He was incredible as, you know, as Captain Marvel essentially. And his costume was just cool looking. So I loved him. I just wanted to say how great he is in this movie show. Hey, if you fucking make a comic book out of this, fuck, I'll read that. Even though the art would probably look terrible because it's like a licensed, you know, knockoff property of a knockoff. So he's great. There's the other... I think I got into a really weird tangent where I stopped explaining something. But anyway, the Nighthawk character. I think that's where I lost myself. This is really bad. Like I said in the first episode, I'm the only person here keeping me in track, and I'm tired, and I can barely do it myself. Nighthawk, he thinks that something else is going on, so he begins investigating. He essentially takes up the role of Rorschach in Watchmen and begins investigating if Marvelous Man really did kill himself or not, or if he was brainwashed, if he was forced to, if it was fake, you know, all this other stuff. So over the whole series, he's doing that as the world is coming closer and closer to nuclear annihilation. Interspersed is just like little vignettes of various other characters doing stuff, and our sort of ride-along character for the show, her name is The Speed. She's the Flash. She's an Australian Flash. She's great. She's a really great actor. She's fun. Everybody chews up the scenery in this movie. So if you think this is going to be like some serious sort of thing that takes itself seriously, don't. Because while it does play the story straight, meaning that it mostly plays it straight. It knows what it is. It knows exactly what it is. The characters don't know that they're in a parody. This is just their world that they live in. So in that way, it is played straight, and, you know, it's a serious murder mystery, essentially. It's a superhero murder mystery in this giant parody show. But fuck, it is just so incredible. The amount of pure creativity going on in this show. Every episode is filled to the brim with just stuff. I haven't even mentioned the fact that the show cuts between different styles of animation. It's like it probably helps that I love like Ralph Bakshi and all of his films. Because those don't look the best, especially like the Lord of the Rings film and that one with Brad Pitt. But the animations, oh my god, they're incredible. There's like 8-bit scenes. There's sort of celebrity deathmatch, like claymation, stop motion animation going on. One of the big battles of like near the end of the series just randomly cuts between 2D animation, which is also looks incredible. They have a couple different 2D animation styles that they use, and it cuts between that and just stop motion animation of like little clay puppets. And during the scene, Speed is fighting someone, and she like whips him so fast that the metal armature of the puppet itself is like removed from the clay body outside of it, and then she like runs so fast around him and like connects them back together. It's a blast. I had so much fun with it, and I wasn't even high when I watched it. But I really recommend it. I feel like everybody's gonna say it's terrible, although I see articles going, oh, it's Netflix's hidden gem, it's so incredible, this and that. But like, just go in expecting that it's going to be ridiculous, over the top, cheesy schlock version of Watchmen with the Justice League characters. And I think you'll have a great time. There's so many fun different characters. Like Aquaman is a fish man who kind of looks like Savage Dragon. My favorite character that they created is like a Spider-Man parody called Sepia Spider or Sepia Spider, like sepia tone or sepia tone. I've never known how to say it. I've always said sepia tone, but I feel like it's sepia. That's the filter on Instagram that makes your pictures look old. But this character, Sepia Spider, he got bitten by like a giant spider monster in the jungle somewhere, because I assume it's like Central America, South America, because he speaks Spanish. His whole origin story is told in one like 15-20 second animated clip. But he gets bitten by the spider, blah blah blah, gets superpowers and shit. Can't shoot webs, can't web swing or anything like that. No. Instead, he has the super strength and agility and whatever of a spider. And he has a little sidekick familiar animal, which is a cartoon spider that looks like it is from the old Disney animations. Like, the black and white ones where they have the giant gloves and they're moving up and down all the time, like Cuphead is emulating. And it just it rides around on his back and shoots out its limbs and is punching people and shit. It was, oh my god, that's my favorite part of the whole Guardians of Justice. I love this show so much. It is so much fun. God, I hope they make a season 2, or based on the ending, I don't really know where they would go with season 2. I can imagine certain places. I don't know if it would be I'm talking about this like it's some big hard-hitting show or something. But yeah, I hope they do a season 2 and they continue the story, because I'm really invested in it. So, Ari Shankar, pretty sure that's her name. Can't remember off the top of my head. Really tired. Please make more of this. I need more of this in my life. I know you're watching. Yeah, that's really all I had to say about that. I really just wanted to talk about that. And now let's get on to the piece de résistance, The Batman, 2022. Oh boy, this movie was incredible. Holy shit. This was the best Batman movie ever. Best live action Batman movie, because there's the animated ones, like the one where Batman has sex with Batgirl and where Harley Quinn has sex with Nightwing. A lot of those Bruce Timm ones have weird sex scenes, but no. The Batman it's the perfect Batman movie that we've gotten so far. Going back to Guardians of Justice real quick, just because I forgot this, my other favorite part is that the Batman pastiche, Nighthawk, whatever, we're introduced to him through a flashback to the 60s, to when he was early crime fighting, and it's Adam West Batman, essentially. It's his old spandex suit, and he's punching criminals. There's this Riddler character who's called the Demander or something, and it's so fucking good, because it's the sort of Scott Pilgrim style of animation, where it's the cartoony sound effects and motions and speed lines and shit coming off of real people, which is what I want from a Batman movie or show so badly. Remake the Batman 66 series, bring back the camp, bring back the silly characters and the Silver Age stuff, but do it in live action with this when they punch people, the sound effects, the pow flies out of their hand or something. That's what they do in Guardians of Justice, and it works so well. Legion was another show that did that. They didn't do it that much, at least I don't recall them doing it that much, mostly during the I think it's season 2 finale, where David Haller fights the Shadow King, and they go into the mindscape, and it's this awesome animation moving around and shit. But I just want that so much, is just combining live action with this 2D comic book animation. That is what I love so much about Guardians of Justice, and what I really want to see one of the big two do for their properties. I think it would work the best in Batman, just because they could, redo or make the new Batman show look like the Adam West Batman and just do that again. But anyway, I digress. Back to the Batman. Oh, my back really hurts. I feel like Batman when he got his back broken. People are obviously arguing that this is it better than Nolan's Batman? Is it better than Tim Burton's Batman? Yes to both. I love those films. The Batman Nolan films are like what got me like really into like the comic book characters, especially when Dark Knight Rises came out. I didn't see Begins or Dark Knight in theaters. But when Dark Knight Rises came out, I just love Bane. He's one of my favorite Batman characters. He's awesome. It's probably because I watched Batman and Robin so much as a kid. But anyway, I don't know where I was going with this. I like the Nolan films. Batman Begins is my favorite, just because it isn't Chicago. It looks like a weird sort of like, it's a realistic world, but it still has those fantastical elements, and it has the borough, what is it called? That like little center middle island where Arkham Asylum is located. It's like a Kowloon City or something. It looks like that. I can't remember what it's called exactly. They have a name for it, but I can't remember it. It has that. It has like the monorail going through the city, which just inexplicably disappears in the next two. Like the architecture is still, it's modern, but there's a little bit of like gothic, or not really gothic, but god damn it, what is that word called? Fuck. I can't remember what the word is called. Damn. Fuck. Like the 20s and 30s architecture. It's going to really piss me off because I know what that is. I can't think of it because I got brain scramblies. Because of my broken back and my tired head. But yeah, Batman Begins is my favorite of the three. It's fun. It doesn't try to be as realistic as the next two do, and that I found really hampered the like I didn't think this when I first watched them. I watched them and I was like, these are incredible movies. These are fun Batman movies. Batman's in them. Joker's great, Scarecrow's great, Ra's al Ghul's great, blah blah blah. Bane's great until he gets shot. Talia al Ghul's all right. But since I've gone back and rewatched it and I've expanded my comic book knowledge, I guess, I don't know, they don't feel Batman-y to me. They feel too far disconnected from the traditional Batman character. And he just sort of feels like a super cop vigilante, as opposed to this, crime-fighting caped crusader who has, like, black body armor. So that's sort of why I don't feel that The Dark Knight is, it's the best comic book movie, it's the best Batman movie. I haven't felt that for, way before I watched The Batman. But The Batman just gets the character perfect. He is the best Batman we've seen in live action. He never gives up. He doesn't kill people. He keeps fighting to save people. There's going to be spoilers, by the way. I'm not hiding anything here. These are full-on spoilers. At the end, when he gets shot point goddamn blank with a double-barrel shotgun, he still, he's trying to get up and fight the guy to stop him. And then when he sees the guy trying to kill Selina, he injects himself with the venom, beats the shit out of the guy, having just been shot, and is now coming down from the super adrenaline. And then he just sacrifices himself by leaping off of whatever that is they're standing, the catwalks, and cuts that electrical wire. And fucking electrocutes himself. And nearly drowns also. And then he still gets up. and clambers over to these people that are trapped, and he rips off the debris and shows them that he is a hero. And he starts pulling them out. I was tearing up during the movie because I was like, oh my God, this is Batman. He is Batman. He realizes that the effect that he has on the people, on regular people, on civilians, people who don't do anything wrong, he realizes that he's creating that a bad reputation for himself, and that he sees himself as the hero, but he wants to make sure that other people see themselves as a hero, or see him as the hero, and know that they'll be safe with him. Because we get that New Frontier scene near the beginning when he's at the train station. The New Frontier scene, if you're unfamiliar, is from Darwin Cook's Justice League New Frontier. There's a scene where Batman stops some cultists from executing a child. He's helped by Martian Manhunter. And Batman, once they defeat the cultists, he goes to the kid and like tries to pick him up, and the kid fucking freaks out, and he's just scared. He's horrified by Batman because he's a big scary guy in like a black suit and can't see his eyes, and he has the big horns. And then Martian Manhunter comes over because he's like taking the guise of a regular man, and like, you know, he picks him up and takes care of him, and Batman realizes that he has to make a change. But it just, this Batman felt human, and he, like I said, he's a human being who just wants to do good. He's altruistic no matter what happens. He doesn't do the whole, I don't have to save you either thing that Christian Bale did. He's not fucking chucking dynamite back at people and kicking them into manhole covers like oh God, what's his name? See, I can't even remember his name from the Tim Burton movies. Michael Keaton. He's not killing people like him. He's not rubbing his nipples like George Clooney, Batman, or whatever he does in that movie. I do like Val Kilmer. He's probably he's my third favorite live-action Batman now, I guess. Because it's definitely Robert Pattinson's number one, Michael Keaton, and then Val Kilmer. I just love Val Kilmer. I think he plays a great Bruce Wayne. His Batman is all right. I think he excels more at the Bruce Wayne cover personality and, that inner turmoil that he feels, that inner darkness. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the Batman from this year. He's just fantastic. This whole movie's fantastic. We get to see the detective work. We get to see Gordon. Can't imagine how many people with YouTube channels are bitching about Gordon being black. I will admit, though, it was weird to see Gordon not have, red or brown hair. It was weird to see James Gordon have black hair and, the black mustache, just because I'm so used to seeing him either an old man with gray hair or a slightly lesser old man with brownish red hair. But, goddamn, Jeffrey Wright and his chemistry with Robert Pattinson's Bruce Wayne Batman, that was fucking so good, especially in the interrogation room scene where he's like, you're gonna have to punch me and make it look real, and escape this way, go this way out of the hall, and they're fucking getting in each other's faces, acting like they're shit talking each other and yelling whatever, and they're just whispering back and forth. I'm so glad that we got to see Gordon working alongside Batman. I don't know. I wonder if they're gonna make him, because I think he's a lieutenant in this one. He's either a captain or a lieutenant. I feel like lieutenant. So I wonder if they're going to make him commissioner in the sequel. Because obviously there's going to be a sequel. And I hope it has Mad Hatter. I am sticking my flag in the ground for Mad Hatter. The Batman sequel. Probably going to come out in 2025 or something. Mad Hatter, Mr. Freeze. Put those two together. See what happens. Fucking Jeffrey Wright's incredible. Zoe Kravitz. God damn, she is so good as Selena Kyle. I haven't seen much of her film work. I loved her when I first saw her in Mad Max Fury Road in 2015. And I was so excited to see that she was Catwoman in this. She does a perfect job as Selena Kyle. Definitely now my top favorite Selena Kyle portrayal in live action. That list is, what is that list? I was talking to somebody the other day about it. Zoe Kravitz, Michelle Pfeiffer, the three from the 60s Batman, so Eartha Kitt, Julie Newmar, is it Lee Merriweather? Is that her name? I think she played her in the movie, and that was it. They're all tied for third. Who was after that? Cameron Bikendova, I guess, would be after her. Has Catwoman been in any other live action stuff? No, so then it would just be Anne Hathaway and Halle Berry. I didn't care for Anne Hathaway's Catwoman. She wasn't that interesting. But Zoe Kravitz, perfect. Everything about this movie is perfect in my eyes. It's fucking 3 hours long and just so goddamn long of a movie. There's so much packed into this movie that they could have made this. They could have made the storylines from this movie, the Riddler part, the Catwoman and the Mafia part, what was the third thing? I can't remember. What was the other storyline going on? I guess like Penguin maybe, but that's sort of the Mafia stuff. Like the Bruce Wayne, like hidden family, whatever bullshit. They could have made, what I'm saying is, they could have made a trilogy out of everything that happens in this one movie alone. So just imagine what the next one's going to be like, and the next one. Because I imagine at most there's going to be probably 3 of these. But I did just bring up that dumbass Thomas Wayne, who he had a shady history. Is Thomas Wayne corrupt? Oh, I hate that so goddamn much. I actually did put together a script for one of my trailer dissection videos. Back when like the first Batman trailer came out, I wrote this whole like real long-winded script. I went through like all the leaks and rumors I could find. I was looking at like hidden or like leaked like set photos and shit, getting all this like information together, trying to compile it into what I thought the movie was going to be, and it's essentially, it's what came out. But that was one of the things that really pissed me off when I found out, like, from the trailer, like the sins of my father and all that stupid stuff. I hate that so much. I didn't end up making the video, obviously, just because I didn't have any time. So that's what happened to that. But goddamn, I hate the whole Thomas Wayne was actually a bad guy, or he had dealings with bad guys and he was shady. Thomas Wayne, and by extension Martha Wayne, who should not be at Arkham. I hate that too. She should be a Kane. Martha Kane, that's her goddamn name. I hate that. Where am I going with this? I'm stuttering. I hate when they do the whole, they're bad. They're kind of bad. They have shady dealings, blah, blah, blah. They need to be the incorruptible part of Gotham. That's another thing I loved about Batman Begins, is the terrific portrayal of Bruce's, well, it's mostly his father. You don't really see much of his mother. But I love that guy. I don't remember his name, the actor who plays, and I have no idea. But he plays a fucking fantastic Thomas Wayne. He's such a like kind-hearted man who like cares about Gotham and, his people and his son and his family and everything. He's not like the Joker Thomas Wayne punching a guy in the bathroom, being like a corrupt politician or whatever the fuck. He's not this Thomas Wayne who's like paying people off and going to the mafia to keep secrets under, like, hidden beneath the surface. He's not Jeffrey Dean Morgan's Thomas Wayne punching his attacker with a gun and getting shot because of it. But it is so dumb and overused. They did it in the Telltale Batman game, and I hated it there too. It's goddamn almost as bad as evil Superman has become. It's like evil Thomas Wayne. Oh, and then they have goddamn Thomas Wayne running around as his Flashpoint version in the main comics for some goddamn reason. That one I could take a little less gruff about. I don't want to, I don't like the fact that Thomas Wayne from Flashpoint is in regular comics hanging out with Bane or whatever the fuck he's been doing. That's stupid. But yeah, I just wish they would stop fucking doing that to the Waynes. They're the bat signal before the bat signal was a thing. They're the beacon of hope for Gotham. And when you take that away, it just turns to shit. It'd be like if Gordon was on the take at the end of this movie. It's like, oh yeah, who's the rat? Who keeps fucking giving these, like, who's giving the mafia insider information, blah, blah, blah. Who's telling the Riddler what to do? And at the end, Gordon fucking puts his gun up to Batman's head and he's like, it was me all along. I'm bad. It's just stupid, and I wish they would stop doing it. What else do I have? Oh, funny little anecdote from my theater showing is that during the scene where Alfred is in the hospital. Alfred barely was in this film, by the way. That was weird. Although when he was in it, he was great. Again, Andy Serkis. Everybody in this film was great. Andy Serkis, like, you know, solving the puzzles on his own time, like acting like it's like the New York crossword or whatever. That was fun. I also like that they had the Shakespeare bust in his, like, weird gothic fucking room. All right, I'm just going to pause it right here before I tell that little story. The Wayne Manor, I guess? It's a skyscraper, but it looks like it's like a skyscraper on the outside with, like, the old-timey architecture. And on the inside, it looks like goddamn a Hogwarts. The first time they showed it, I was like, holy shit, this looks weird. Like, it was just so anachronistic. Like, the whole thing feels like it's the live action version of Batman the Animated Series. Like, you got cell phones, you got sports cars, you got new technology, you got live streaming, you got fucking YouTube and, like, Twitch and shit. And then at the same time, you have, like, all this weird old machinery that Bruce is using, like that big contraption that he's setting up when he and Selina are spying on that, like, secret underground club in the Iceberg Lounge. I'm pretty sure well, I don't know about this, but the typing on his Bat computer sounds almost exactly like the typing from the Batman animated series Bat computer, that real hard, like, sort of sound effect, which I fucking love. Just everything about this movie is so incredible. It is perfect. Gotham looks amazing. I'm so happy they shot it in, like, I think Edinburgh and Glasgow, to get, like, that old style. The scene of Bruce riding his motorcycle, like, in the opening, through that, like, pseudo Times Square. For some reason, that just looked odd. That looked off, like the perspective was weird or something. But I think it's just the fact that they superimposed all these fake giant TV screens and advertising screens over a city that doesn't have that. But yeah, this is just such a good movie. So back to my story. So, before that scene with with Bruce Wayne in the hospital room talking to Alfred, this woman, she got up, left her seat, and I was like, okay, I guess she's leaving. Because I have the terrible curse of noticing every time someone gets up and down in a goddamn movie theater, and I have to look at them and see, like, what's that guy doing? What's she doing? So she leaves and, like, you know, goes down, doors on this side. She's sitting on this side at the very top row. So she goes all the way down, blah, 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 and I think she leaves. And then I hear whispering, you know, like that fake whispering, coming from the fucking exit door. So she hasn't left. She's answered a phone call. And she's, like, bitching at her kids or something, or, like, bitching at some, like, babysitter who's taking care of her kids. Something's happening. She's, like, arguing with them. They want to do something. And she's like, no, fuck off. I'm in a movie or whatever. I don't know. I couldn't hear her that well. I didn't really care to. And then she walks her ass back up the stairs and sits back with, like, the group of 3 or 4 people that she's with. And this is right at the moment where, like, Bruce and Alfred are holding hands and, like, crying, and having this like heart-to-heart adoptive father to adoptive son, heart-wrenching, scene. And then this fucking woman just kneels down back into her seat and leans over to like her buddy, and she goes, "Never have kids." It's like, oh my god, you could have fucking timed that perfectly. She goes, "Oh god, never have kids." Like, she's so pissed off at her fucking kids for calling her during this movie. Right as Bruce and Alfred are like crying over the fact that like they're basically family. Goddamn. Just how perfect is that? What else do I have for notes on the Batman movie? Riddler as the Zodiac Killer. Loved that. I liked his suit. I liked how sloppy he was when he's murdering people, just because, he's not in the best shape. He probably hasn't done this before. When he kills the mayor in the opening scene, which is so fucking creepy and suspenseful. He trips over himself and he falls to the floor. He drops his chisel thingy. Which I found funny because the McFarlane action figure comes with that little chisel thing, and everybody's like, "What is it? What is it gonna be? Who knows? Why does it come with that?" And it's like, these people didn't realize it's like, motherfucker, what do you think he's using to kill people with? That's clearly his serial killer weapon. So when the movie came out, I saw these like discussion threads on like Facebook toy groups and like Reddit and shit, and they're like, "Oh, so that's what it was. He uses it to kill them and to like scrape up the boards or whatever." But yeah, I love that the Zodiac Killer is the inspiration of the Riddler. Go watch Zodiac from 2007 if you haven't. It's basically this movie, but real life. As Edward Norton, not Edward Norton, Mark Ruffalo. Got my Hulks mixed up. Mark Ruffalo, God almighty, I'm having a stroke. Mark Ruffalo, Robert Downey Jr., Jake Gyllenhaal. Yeah, it's Gyllenhaal. They're like the main three of the film. It's David Fincher. It's one of my favorite movies. It is so fucking incredible. You can actually watch it on YouTube for free. There's ads still. It's one of those movies that like gets uploaded to YouTube for some reason, but it still has ad breaks in it. I don't understand how that licensing works, but you can do that. Just get ad block or something. You won't have to worry about the ads. Go watch that, and like you can see the inspiration from this movie. It's like if you watch Joker and then you go watch Scorsese's King of Comedy. They're exactly the same movie. But yeah, Riddler, this is the Zodiac, is fucking so good. I love this reinvention of the Riddler. Even when he first appears and he's like in the phone call, I think, is when he first shows up as his Riddler persona and he speaks. He makes at least like 2 direct references to the Zodiac Killer. The first is how he introduces himself. I can't think of it verbatim right now. I just noticed it when I was watching the film. How he introduces himself is almost the exact same as when the alleged Zodiac Killer called into a news station that was had like a live news channel going on. It was this news channel doing this interview with this like psychologist, and they were like, "If you're the Zodiac Killer, call us," and we want an interview. And like it has like reminiscence of that. The letters of the Zodiac Killer, he also like speaks sort of in that way, like, "Hello, it's the Zodiac Killer. Hello, it's the Riddler," stuff like that. And then I think it's when he ends the call the first time, he does a really elongated goodbye, which is what the what the Zodiac Killer did the first time that he killed the 2 people. Well, one person, he almost killed another guy on the Lover's Lane. He called the police and he told the 911 operator, like, "Hello, I'd like to commit a double homicide. I just committed it. Their bodies are at so-and-so." But when he hung up the call, before he did it, he just goes, "Goodbye," and then hangs up. And fucking Riddler does that in this movie, and I thought that was so great. That's such a neat little detail. I was really looking forward to the HBO Max, that's where I assume it's going to be put, the GCPD show that they're going to make based off of this, but then apparently they scrapped that idea for instead an Arkham Asylum horror show. I don't know what that means. I can't even think of anything that we already have that in existence similar to that. Maybe it'll be I don't know, X-Files maybe? Or like a creature, like a villain of the week or something? Maybe it's probably going to be some conspiracy going on at Arkham. There's I think it's Dane DeHaan. He was in this film from early 2010s, I think, where he's at this hospital or something and his leg's broken. And there's some real shady genetic shit going on in the basement, and he keeps trying to figure it out. I haven't seen it in a while, so I can't really remember the details all that much. I've only seen it once. I can't remember what the fuck it's called. Just look up Dane DeHaan. I think that's him. It's either Dane DeHaan's the guy from Amazing Spider-Man. It's him. Yeah, it is him. I was getting him confused with the guy from Pacific Rim who plays opposite to Charlie Day. So they could do something like that where it's a patient gets sent to Arkham who shouldn't actually be there, and he's trying to uncover something, or a doctor who's trying to uncover something. Whatever. Disappointed that it's not going to be Gotham Central, the TV show. But I guess I have Gotham to go rewatch. I act like that, but I do like Gotham. Also, apparently, I don't know how much this is true. I just saw people discussing a Penguin crime show. Apparently, there's going to be a Penguin show in the works. Don't know if it's going to get greenlit, but they're talking about it. Probably going to be The Sopranos or something. Just crime-related show following the Penguin taking over the power vacuum. Could have Roman Sionis, maybe. I don't really know what they could do with that. But yeah, that comes to the end. The only other note I have left is about Tweedledee and Tweedledum, who were definitely who those twins were supposed to be, right? I was so disappointed that nobody made mention of called them, hey Tweedledee, Tweedledum, or hey D and Dumb, or something like that. They were fun. But yeah, that's what I'd have to say about the Batman. It's 0 year done well. Yeah, if you wanna read the Batman, just go read 0 year to see a worse version of it. Read Batman Earth 1 for a pretty similar take on Batman, and read The Long Halloween, or as it is in this movie, The Long Hallow Week, because the course of the movie takes place over a week. Starts on Halloween, ends November 6th. A whole lot happens. I thought it was going to be a couple months, but nope, it's just a week. So I think I'm going to call it here. This is starting to be a running gag on the show, is that I keep pushing back further and further the topic of obscure DC characters that I love. I promise that next week, episode 4 is going to be the one where I talk about that. So join me again next week. This is the end, by the way. This is the outro. Stay on the lookout for Destructo Boy, Era of Alpha Cardinal, Part 1 of 2. Here's the back, as I always show. Each back cover is going to have a different character from the book with their little synopsis and, a cool picture of them. Again, this book is done. All these pages are done. So I'm just waiting for them to get printed, and I will start selling, baby. Follow me on Instagram at smokey'svideos and at NotBlakeWild. I use the at NotBlakeWild account more often than Smokey's videos. Let me know what you thought of the Batman in the comments below. Have you watched Guardians of Justice? Let me know what you thought of that as well. What are your thoughts on Devil's Reign? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Why to both of those? Why do you like it? Why do you not like it? Yeah, since I spoiled it so much, since I spoiled the Batman so much, just go ahead and talk spoilers in the comments amongst yourselves if you'd like to. Let me know of any theories you have. I was really hoping that the Court of Owls was going to show up at the very end and be they were the people who were giving Riddler his information and they were just using him as a puppet to do their bidding. I was also hoping it would be the Court of Owls, just to get the view count up on my most recent Batman video. But yeah, that's really about it. That's all I have to say for this week on the Comic Schtick Podcast. I can't remember how I sign these off. I don't think I have an actual sign-off yet. Yeah, so join me again next week. I'll be talking about Nocenti's Daredevil. I am about to finish the end of the Typhoid Mary arc. So which means I'm about to get into the comics that I have not already read. Because if you're unaware, I have been rereading these books because I bought about 30 some odd of them. But I also got gifted the remainder of the run. So I am almost caught back up to, like, I'm about to lap myself, apparently. About to lap myself back onto the Daredevil run. So you can hear more about that. I'll talk all about Typhoid Mary and her devious machinations with the Kingpin and the obscure DC comic book characters that I absolutely love next week. Stay safe, have fun, and I'll see you next time. Bye!